From Amsterdam. I started my career in jewellery since probably from a very young age. I would be making all sorts of pendants and bracelets and etc. But my father was quite a strong man, so I wasn't allowed to do anything further in jewellery or making. I was working as a diamond trader since I was 15, so if you would come to Amsterdam and you go into any of the loose diamond sale rooms, I was there from 15, selling. We were very lucky. We had, when we grew up, we had an English, Scottish and an Irish nanny and a cook, so we were taught languages straight away. So selling diamonds to the tourists coming into Amsterdam was just easy. It was like second nature, and I've always loved selling, I've always loved jewellery. I was sent to do economics at university because my father was totally against the idea anything in the jewellery field or department. Wasn't allowed. I needed a sensible career. So I did. In Holland it works a little bit different with universities. I got into one of them, well, it was Groningen, so one of the a really good economics university, and that's what it specialises in. And if you do your 2 first years, it is sort of like, it's called the propedeuse years. You have already like a mini degree, and then you specialise in which aspect of economics you wanted to do. Unfortunately, my grandfather passed away, but bless him, that made it so that I was able, I inherited some money, and I went to Amsterdam. Our family home is in Amsterdam, and I went to do the gemology degree, which wasn't that easy, thinking about it, because in those days it was just Jewish men. I'm from a Jewish background, and because I've worked in the trade since I was 15 and kept on working in the trade through my degree, etc., I was allowed, and I was one of the first female girls that actually was sat the entrance test and was allowed to do my 4 years of gemology. So it was a bit odd, because in the jewellery, like the jewellery making department, history of jewellery, or like the retail jewellery side, there were women or girls or ladies studying that side, but not actually on the diamond front. And it was very, this might be bad English, incestuous. It was sort of the diamond traders' sons and that, which mainly Amsterdam is known for diamonds, but because of the war, a lot of it is in Antwerp now. So the main diamond auction is in Antwerp. So it was very odd, because I'd be there as the only female, and it's fine. I speak a tiny bit of Hebrew, and so I was able to fight my corner. Thank goodness I got out. It was supposed to be 4 years, but you could actually qualify in 3 years, and that's what I did as soon as possible. And then I was working in Amsterdam. I had bought my own apartment. I was very lucky because I was always working in the diamond industry. So all the holidays. In Holland you have a 1 night a week is your late night shopping. So Thursdays I was selling diamonds, Saturdays and Sundays. Sundays was funny because who was the highest offer? So which diamond trader would offer you the most? You would go onto the ships, because basically the ship would come into Amsterdam, and they were like a bit of tax-free shopping. I don't know how it all works, but it was really fun. So with that, I was able to earn quite a good living. I loved what I did, very passionate. So why am I here? So I met an Englishman. He was a little bit older than I was. He did say the magic words, he'd look after me. And okay, I thought, right, I'll give it a go. So I came to England. So with all my qualifications, I went to a few jewellers in sort of Worcestershire. And one jeweller said they would retrain me. I thought that was interesting. And then the second one said, you're too highly qualified. I said, well, I need to start somewhere. So basically, in the first week I came to England, or United Kingdom, I ended up selling houses. I had no idea what an airing cupboard was or whatever, but I was selling houses, and I got my first commission. I sold my first house within a week, and a gentleman came with the deposit in cash. And I'll never think, oh my God, what am I doing? And then from that, it was very funny because I had applied to some London jewellers, and I went for an interview to Asprey's in London, and it was totally different than what I was used to in serving customers, or eye contact, or it was just, I can't explain it. really couldn't believe it. So my interview was like this: you have to speak correct English. I said, fine. You have to do it our way. I said, that's brilliant. So then you get training. They gave me a target. I said, if you leave me on my own on the shop floor, please, and I'll serve and I'll hit target, and then we'll speak again. So 18 months later, I was salesperson of the year for Asprey Group. So that was it. I was left alone. We had a little shop in, what is it called? Dorchester Hotel. There was a little mini Asprey shop there, and and then all sorts of things. Asprey and Gowns got married or whatever, and it was all very complicated. But they bought a shop in Birmingham called Nathan's. I don't know if you know Nathan's. It was in Corporation Street. They had a lot of beautiful, like antique jewellery, and also a little bit of, not really modern. So that was my new task, to make it sort of very dull, dark, dingy shop into beautiful. With, at the time, it was cream and etc. And I worked there for another sort of 18 months, and it was very annoying because constantly they were getting recruiting from outside for assistant manager, and I couldn't believe it. So I would hand in my CV and say, look, I've got all the qualifications you're looking for, you know me, I've worked for, but I always constantly get passed in the interview, and I just didn't understand it. And then we had two different managers sort of came in, and they left very quickly. And so I had to sit one of the owners, Joseph, down and said, well, what am I doing wrong? Am I doing, it's my age? And then finally it came through, said, we've never had a female as a manager of
wow.
the store. And I was like thinking, I couldn't believe it. I mean, that is so, old-fashioned, for why.
When was this? What time frame?
So I'm going to be 50 this year. So I was then 23, 24. So it's a long time ago. And I just couldn't believe it. So I used to, from your commissioner and we used to have a clothing allowance, and I used to, in Worcester was a lovely clothing shop, and I would go in, and I thought, and they said as a joke, Annie, why don't you start here with just 2 cabinets? And then it was so funny, because when you're young, you're quite naive, because you don't think things through. Of course, I didn't have any children, so it was very easy. One day, when they employed somebody else that didn't know the difference, they wouldn't be able to value the difference between a stone, etc. Non-qualified, yes, a man. I thought, right, that's it. I walked in and I said to Mr. Joseph, I'm ever so sorry, I just can't work here anymore, it's not fair. He said, what do you mean, darling? And then he was like, he was so condescending to me. And I just looked at him, I said, that's it. I'm going to give you my notice now. I'm going to start for myself. That was a shock. So I had my 2 cabinets, and I had made a small collection of jewellery. And that's how I started. And then getting customers, doing events, going out and getting in trade. I was very lucky. I sort of can mention it now. Once in Asprey's in London, I was serving this elderly lady, and she was lovely, and I was right to the end. I'd done everything that she'd asked me to do, all boxed up, gift wrapped. I said, okay. I said, I've got the invoice ready. And she said, look, dear, I have an account here. And I looked at her, I don't know for sure, because she had the scarf on, and I felt very awful, and that was Lady Thatcher. And I'll never forget that. But that is it. So by having her, and of course being able to, I wasn't allowed to contact, but she contacted me, so that was allowed. I mean, there was no GDPR in those days, and that made me, every month I would do anything that Lady Thatcher would give. So it could be a sterling silver frame with her signature on it, or if she needs to give a gift, if overseas, everything came through us. So, and like her daughter, I made the most amazing Tahitian pearl necklace for her, and then I saw her on TV, and she put a big plastic flower right on top of it. And I could have killed her then. Carol, isn't it? Yeah, Carol. And I just thought, oh gosh, there goes my reputation. But it was, that was very lucky. So every month I was invoicing a certain amount of money. So that was really a good start of starting your business. And it was sort of about, I do lots of everything in 18 months, I don't know. So then I had, 18 months later, a little shop in Friar Street came available, and I took that on, and it was rented, and I've said I loved it so much, so even though it was tiny, it was, my father always said overheads, keep them as low as possible, etc. And I said I would only move from there if I was actually going to buy my own building. And about 8 years ago, it would be Gold Cup Day, 8 years ago I sat at an auction and I bought my own retail premises. So that's where we're now. We've got an upstairs room for private viewing, and yes, and that was it from, you know, rest is history. Work, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing to start your own business. I have 2 lovely children. You know, it's a different ballgame. I'm on a hamster wheel, and you've got targets. Well, I make my own targets, but you've got my targets to hit, and it works very well. But it is constantly, there's constantly challenges. I mean, I had one of my girls that I had one yesterday say out she was going to resign end of 28th of March, and she's lovely. I mean, she's does all of her updates. She's only part-time, but she's been with me for like 10 years, and it's like. And then I had another young girl that decided to go for a promotion. She said she was going to work 1 day less, the main day, Saturdays, and she would like 3,000 more. And you know, it's things like those challenges. I just like, you have no idea how many hours I put in, how many hours behind the scenes, but it all looks, because once you're in, if you come in with your jewellery, it has to be calm. I mean, it's busy, but you know, people mustn't know that you're under stress or perimenopausal, which I now definitely know I am. I did this, I got shouted at my children last and said, you haven't done anything wrong. But it is you've got all the aspects of just being a normal woman, a mother, and running a business. And in my business, it's because Lucy said, oh, why do you not bring a load of jewellery?